Mike Perlak here to entertain you with the help of Simply Red and a little song called Holding Back the Years. I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on. Holding, holding, holding. You know the song. I was listening to Simply Red at work today. I learned some things about the guy this week watching Professor of Rock, Adam. Apparently he was 17 years old when he wrote that song, Holding Back the Years. I guess his mother had abandoned him and the dad early on when he was just a kid. As a survivor of abuse myself, I can relate. I guess it would be kind of hard for people who are not survivors of abuse to wrap their head on such a thing. I know it would be many, many, many years before I could articulate my abuse, the abuse I suffered as a child. But yeah, 17 when he wrote that song, Holding Back the Years. After he was a success as a man in the music industry. At first, he didn't want nothing to do with his mom, but then he would work on his relationship with her when she falsely claimed to have cancer to gain his sympathy. Needless to say, I guess their relationship was strained after that again. And I'm thinking, God, only a hardcore modern feminist would see fit to do that and feel justified in doing it. I mean, she probably didn't feel he was giving her enough of his money already, so she probably got some scum-sucking lawyer to, hey, yeah, if you tell him that, and then you can use the money for something else, and he'll be giving you all this money, thinking he's giving you money to the doctors to cure your cancer, but really you can go ahead and spend that money the way you see fit. God, why do human beings do that? Apparently, his father never approved of his pursuit of music. Even after his success, he would say stuff like, "Why don't you get a real job? And when are you going to get a real job and quit this kid stuff, this music?" But at least his father didn't straight up abandon him. All right, I want to get one out there. I was watching ACLJ like I usually do on my break at work, and if you don't want Trump to be president, stop persecuting him. That's what but they won't. They won't, because they are drowning in the power that they are losing thanks to the patriot movement. Right? DeSantis messed up big time. If he just said, okay, the hell with Trump, he might be okay. But he said, the hell with the patriot movement. He said, me, 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 me. He accepted GOP's money, and then me, president now, not after Trump. Me, now, president. Look at the result of his poll. The polling result. He's now anything can happen. There's still a little bit of ways to go before the election, but even my own mother doesn't trust him. I don't necessarily agree 100% with my mom on political stuff, but I respect her, and I even am willing to investigate a candidate that she supports more closely when I learn that she supports that candidate, even if I don't agree with her supporting that candidate. Out of respect, my philosophy on that is she's been in the world a little longer than me, so maybe she sees something that I missed for whatever reason. I mean, when Biden became president initially, my own mother said it's like living in the time when Jimmy Carter was president again, with the gas and everything, inflation. I was not alive while Jimmy Carter was president, so I have to take my mom's word for that, and I do. But as soon as Ron DeSantis took that GOP money and backing, he basically said, F the Patriot movement. I want to become a political elitist too. I want to enrich myself, me, like Nancy and Chuck did, and Hillary and Obama. I want to be another W. Bush. that did and do just that while in power. DeSantis said, I just want to get elected and be there to remind the voters that life is just not fair. While behind the scenes, we elitists do all to make sure it will always be that way in their favor. That is the true liberal philosophy. Speaking of liberals, somebody called me out on something, and I have to admit I was a little ignorant, or my understanding was a little off. But I guess there is a fundamental difference between a liberal and a libertarian. A libertarian does believe in limited government intervention. A libertarian. This is what, but like I said, my understanding was a little off because I still say that a libertarian is a conservative that doesn't want to have to say that they're a conservative. Because it makes them feel better to say they're a libertarian than to say they're a conservative. It's all about, there's, the libertarians believe in limited government intervention. They believe in equality of opportunity, whereas a liberal believes in government intervention is needed for equality of outcome, because that's what they want. They're not for equality of opportunity. They want equality of outcome. They're the kind of people that say, 'cause you're rich, I should be rich too. Yeah. There's a lot of people in this world who are, quote, rich, and they work their arses off for the money they earn. So I will acknowledge there is a fundamental difference between a liberal and a libertarian, but I still think both of them let their emotions dictate their decision making, especially who they vote for. All right, that'll do it for this one. Time for me to go to sleep. I'm gonna go to sleep watching the original Snow White, or at least trying again. And last night I fell asleep at the well part where the music's echoing and stuff. That was very pleasing. It put me right to sleep. But the last time I watched this damn thing was at the theater when I was a child. It was like one of the first movies that they put back on the theater. It was technically an old movie. I remember when I was a kid. And I haven't gotten that far into it yet. Like I said, I fell asleep at that part. But the only part of the whole movie that stuck in my memory as a child was when she's kissing them all goodbye as they're off to work, and Dopey keeps getting in line again to get another kiss goodbye. Don't ask me why, but that's the one. I mean, I remember the basics of the story, but as far as the movie goes, that's the scene I remember the most from childhood. Mike Paralak, thank you for your time.